Today's topic is heavy, but it's real, and for some of you, it's personal. You care for someone, but their issues with drugs is starting to damage your relationship. You've tried to be supportive, you've tried to be patient, but now you're asking yourself, what do I do when the person I care about is using drugs too much and it's having a negative impact on us? This is Vibes and Chemistry, and today we're going deep. Let's talk about how to handle it when your partner's drug use is hurting your relationship and what it really means to work with someone through this. Segment 1. It's not just a phase. If you're here watching this, you are probably past the maybe it's just a phase stage. You've seen the signs. They're using often, maybe daily. It's affecting their mood, their energy, their decision making. Plans get canceled. Responsibilities slip. Maybe they lie or disappear. This isn't just recreational anymore. It's starting to feel like a lifestyle, and not a healthy one that you feel comfortable saying you can keep living with. And that's hard, because when you are in a committed relationship, you want to wait, to hope, to fix. But at some point, you may realize you didn't sign up for a one-sided battle with something that is hurting you and your partner. Segment 2. The emotional weight you're carrying. Let's talk about you for a second, because being with someone who's struggling with substance abuse can be exhausting. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It can drain you. You're probably feeling a mix of things, and none of it's simple. Frustration, because they keep saying they'll slow down or quit, but nothing changes. Anxiety, because you never know what version of them you're going to get. Are they clear today? Are they high? Guilt, because you want to be supportive, but deep down, you're tired. Insecurity, you start to question, is it really that big of a deal? Knowing it is. Shame, because maybe you haven't told your friends or family what's really going on. Some days you may feel strong. Other days, it's like you're drowning quietly, waiting for them to notice how much the drug use is hurting you. And then you ask yourself, am I being selfish for wanting them to stop? Am I abandoning them if I walk away? Am I weak if I stay? It's a storm of questions with no easy answers. And the hardest part, you're going through all of it alone while still trying to hold your relationship together. But here's the truth, your feelings are valid. Your exhaustion is valid. No one teaches you how to be in a relationship with someone that is slowly pulling you down due to their addiction. Segment 3. Is this a relationship or a rescue mission? Now here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you in a relationship or are you trying to save someone? Because when you're constantly covering for them, cleaning up their messes, begging them to stop, checking if they're high again, at some point you stop being a partner and start being a caretaker. And while support is beautiful, codependency will drain your soul. You can't keep setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm, especially when they're not even acknowledging the fire. Segment 4. What are they saying and doing? Let's break this down. What is your partner actually saying, and what are they doing? Because when it comes to substance abuse, those two things often don't match. Are they saying stuff like, it's not that serious, I've got it under control, or you're overreacting, it's not even a problem? And meanwhile, their behavior tells a completely different story. They're using more frequently, they're missing important things, they're moody, inconsistent, unreliable. Words are easy. They'll tell you they're cutting back. They'll promise they'll slow down. They'll swear they're good. But if nothing's actually changing, you've got your answer. It's not about whether they admit there's a problem. It's about whether they're doing anything about it. And here's the thing. Sometimes they do admit it. They say they're struggling. They open up. And in that moment, your hope kicks in. You start thinking, okay, maybe now we're getting somewhere. But weeks pass and nothing changes. Same cycle, same pain. This is where the tough love comes in, because if they know it's hurting and they're still choosing not to change, that's no longer about the drugs, that's about priorities, and your relationship might not be one of them. Segment 5. Setting boundaries isn't abandonment. Now listen, setting boundaries doesn't mean you don't care about the relationship or that you are selfish. It means you're choosing to protect yourself too. A lot of us were taught that real love means standing by someone no matter what. But here's the truth. Unconditional love doesn't mean unlimited tolerance. You can care for someone deeply and still recognize that their behavior is harming you. You might say something like, "I care for you, but I can't be in a relationship that's being shaped by drugs," or "I want to be here for you, but only if you're actively working on this issue." That's not a threat, that's a boundary, and boundaries are necessary if you want to maintain your mental health, your peace, and your sense of self. Because without boundaries, you lose yourself trying to save someone who may not even be ready to be saved, and if they accuse you of abandoning them, that's their fear talking. Addiction will try to guilt you, manipulate you, keep you in the cycle. But you have to remember, you are not their cure. You are not responsible for someone else's healing, especially when they're not even trying to heal. Segment 6, what support can look like without losing yourself. If they do acknowledge the problem and want help, great. But your role is not to be their therapist, rehab center, or sponsor. You're their partner. Support can look like encouraging them to get professional help, going to a counseling session together, being emotionally present without enabling, learning about addiction so you understand what you're really up against. But it should not look like sacrificing your peace, your stability, or your sanity to keep them comfortable in their self-destruction. Segment 7, when it's time to walk away. Sometimes the hardest truth is this: you might love them, but they're not ready to love you back in a healthy way. And that doesn't make you cold. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest about what you need to survive and grow. If they refuse to get help, if the drug use is escalating and it is severely affecting you, that's not a relationship, that's a survival situation. And you weren't built to spend your life in a war zone. You can care about someone deeply and still accept that love isn't enough to fix what they won't face. Walking away doesn't mean you gave up. It means you stopped betraying yourself to hold someone else together. And sometimes that decision, that's the first step in reclaiming your peace. It's the beginning of your healing, because staying in something that's slowly breaking you isn't loyalty. That's self-abandonment. And if they ever do get clean, get help, and get serious about change, great. But by then, you'll have done the hardest part, choosing yourself when it hurt the most. Segment 8, you deserve peace. Loving someone through addiction is one of the most complicated things you can experience. It takes strength, compassion, and emotional stamina that most people don't even realize. You carry their pain like it's your own, and slowly you start to lose yourself in the process. But at the end of the day, your peace matters as well. Your goals, your dreams, your mental health, they matter. You can be supportive without sacrificing yourself. You can love someone deeply and still choose distance if being close is costing you your sanity. If they decide to get help, that's beautiful. If they don't, that's a tragedy. But it's not your fault. You can't heal someone who won't stop hurting themselves, and you're not obligated to stay in a relationship that's slowly breaking you. Love is powerful, but peace is everything. And the right kind of love, the healthy kind, will never ask you to give that up. All right, fam, I know this one was heavy, but if you're going through this, just know you're not alone, and you don't have to carry this in silence. There's help, there's healing, and you deserve to be in a relationship that supports both your heart and your peace. If you've been in this situation or you're in it right now, drop your story in the comments. Let's build community around this. And if this helped you or made you feel seen, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need it as well. Until next time, stay vibing, stay strong, and remember, chemistry is everything, but peace is priceless.